It's called the Umbrella Village, Busan in northern Thailand. The lifeblood of Busan is paper, because Busan's umbrellas are the exquisitely delicate Asian type made of bamboo and paper. The paper comes from the bark of the local saw tree, but only selected bark of just the right thickness. It must be boiled for half a day, then soaked for a week. In Busan, each person works to support the entire village. The sun in Busan can grow very hot, but the women are protected by hats made of Busan paper. The paper is now layered onto the skeleton, and a rice-based waterproof glue called go is applied. Go's distinctive color derives from the pulp of a local fruit mixed in with it. The final phases of manufacture include securing the spokes with a bamboo ring, inserting and trimming the carrying pole, and fastening the assembly. In Busan, people work just as they have for centuries. Village work is seen as just another aspect of village life.
Over 3 million visitors a year are drawn to the spectacular Eiffel Tower. And yet, how many have ever been inside the room at the very top? Completed in 1889 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution, it was a massive undertaking for its day. At 57, Gustave Eiffel was at the height of his creative powers. Eiffel's advanced knowledge of metal arches and trusses paved the way for a revolution in building construction. Today, while the usual maintenance goes on, the old Iron Lady is also undergoing a weight reduction. For safety, she has to lose 1,000 tons or so. But though she shakes in the wind, expands in heat, and shrinks in cold, very few visitors can resist taking one of the most exhilarating elevator rides to be found anywhere. But this time the elevator is taking us to an exclusive inside look at the secret compartment on the 3rd level high atop the tower. It's a room that Eiffel himself reserved for his own use. Tourists may see it only from the outside, but our You Asked For It cameras are going in. The small living quarters were provided as a study and scientific laboratory for Eiffel himself. But he shares this view with another great scientific figure of that day, Thomas Edison. The American inventor's famous early phonograph occupies a space near Eiffel's seismograph, a tribute to Franco-American relations at the very top of France's beloved Eiffel Tower. The tower itself, with its breathtaking views of Paris, one of the world's most beautiful cities, is a lasting monument to the vision of Gustave Eiffel.
What you're really seeing here is a tribal drugstore, the fetish market of Togo. A fetish is any once-living creature that is believed to still possess the powers of the soul that once flowed through it. And people believe it will cure illnesses, ward off evil spirits, and promote all kinds of good luck. Village people, as well as city dwellers, come here to purchase items recommended by their witch doctor. There are literally thousands of items, but one of the chief talismans seems to be the skin of any powerful animal. The tribal people, who make up some 85% of the population of Togo, believe in the concept of totemism or animism. That powerful magic resides in all living things. The skin of fast-running deer, for example, can impart some of the same qualities to the one who possesses it. The sellers of these powerful tokens are usually the men who have killed them in the bush and preserved them. Some of the items have a significance known only to the witch doctors and their patients. The fetish market itself is so unique that it's usually off-limits to foreigners.
About all I could remember from my 6th grade geography class was that a glacier is a big chunk of ice that creeps along over the ground till it reaches the sea. But nothing, I read, could have prepared me for the enormous power of this towering wall of ice, or the great groaning cracks that accompany the calving of new icebergs off its face. Although glaciers are especially active in the warmth of summer, this glacier is the only one in Alaska that hasn't retreated. As the icebergs peel off the front edge, more ice is still being pushed forward from the other end, 41 miles away. Try to imagine a solid wall of ice, 300 feet high and 5 miles wide. Now try to imagine this towering mass moving toward you. Imagine the sound it makes, groaning and popping and cracking as it drops huge chunks off into the sea. And imagine the waves from these new icebergs lifting your boat 20 feet in the air. A full-size automobile weighs about 2 tons. Well, on a normal day, the Columbia Glacier dumps about 3 million tons of ice. And on a warm day, that figure can jump to 20 million tons.
Once a year, the Chinese and Vietnamese refugees living in Cambodia celebrate the Day of the Chinese Genies. To earn a higher place in paradise, some inflict the most painful tortures upon themselves. They believe that because they show no reaction to pain, the Jade Emperor, who rules paradise, will be so impressed by their courage that after death, he will put them in his elite guard corps. It is believed that a special grace attaches to those martyrs who cut their tongues. They are virtually guaranteed a place in paradise. Among the most valued of the festival's mementos are the small strips of paper bloodied by the martyrs' tongues. These cherished souvenirs will be carried home and given places of honor in shrines to the Emperor Jade.
This is Schnaubling, the Bavarian version of downhill racing. The contestants are in this for fun, but it's just as dangerous as it looks. This is an open event. Formal attire accepted, bicyclists welcome. The only criteria is getting to the bottom of the hill, in one piece, if possible. Sometimes the sledders and the sled part company at inopportune moments. The Flying Fantastic Sleds of Bavaria. Each day of the New Year's celebration starts with a visit to the pagoda temple of Ganden. The pagodas contain religious relics. As the people outside get ready, the monks or lamas privately go through Buddhist rituals that are unique to Tibet. Ringing the bell is akin to offering up a quick prayer. Each lama taps it before entering the little golden temple. Inside, the lamas offer up prayers for peace and prosperity. This particular order of Buddhism was founded by Ta Song Kapa, shown here. Ta Song was a great religious reformer in the 14th century. His temple is one of the most ornate and largest shrines in all of Tibet. The Great Hall alone covers 6,400 square feet and is supported by 168 dragon-designed pillars. The temple houses one of the greatest collection of prayer books in Tibet. From all over the city of Ganden, men and women gather at the temple. New Year's in Tibet, the largest celebration of its kind in the world.
Assignment Africa. Somewhere in the Belgian Congo, a vast area covering some 904,000 square miles, were the remnants of a tribe of women whose peculiar custom of self-mutilation was almost legendary. These amazing women are the last 15 survivors of a tribe which was once one of the largest in the Congo. The custom of deforming the lips in this manner started many centuries ago, both in the Congo and French Equatorial Africa. It was originally done to make the women unattractive. In doing so, they discouraged the Arab slave traders from selling them. A small hole was pierced in the woman's lip and a small round piece of wood inserted. Sometimes colored beads are added to make the small discs more attractive, though originally the intent was just the opposite. But human nature being what it is, the women were soon competing by inserting larger and larger pieces of wood until in some cases the discs were 6 inches across.